Andrew, you good? Good morning. It is 9 o'clock. It is Wednesday, September the 23rd of 2020. Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the Commissioners Court of Grimes County, Texas will be held on Wednesday, the 23rd day of September 2020 at 9 a.m. We are in the Grimes County Annex Building at 114 West Buffington Avenue. The first item on the agenda is called the meeting to order. We'll have an invocation, followed by the pledge of the U.S. and then the Texas flag. Would you rise for the invocation, please? Father, we want to thank you for this day. We want to thank you for the blessings of this life. Father, we're grateful for the opportunities that you present to each and every one of us. We ask that you give us wisdom as we make decisions for this county in our leadership roles. We thank you for the opportunity to serve our fellow citizens. Father, we know that sometimes we fall short, but we ask for your encouragement and your strength to keep us moving forward and do what's right, Father. We're grateful for the rain that we've had. We're grateful that we did not receive any damage throughout our county. For those that may be suffering with floodwaters, we ask that you be with them and their first responders. Protect them and keep them safe as they do what they want to do, and that's to help one another. Father, we ask that you be with us as we continue to do our work and your work. And it's in your Son's precious name, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Would you be seated, please? We now go to agenda item number 2, which is reserved for our public comments. We look forward to hearing from our citizens of Grimes County. Vanessa Brzezinski, County Clerk, do you have any submissions of public comments?
The only one I have is the one I just gave to you.
Okay, and then that one was retracted by the district clerk.
Okay.
All right. I do have a order that I'll read during these public comments. In the 12th and 506 Judicial District Courts of Grimes County, Texas, appointment of Grimes County Auditor pursuant to Section 84.003 of the Local Government Code of the State of Texas, VATC. The judges of the 12th and 506 Judicial Districts of the State of Texas appoint Mary Nichols, Grimes County Auditor. Her term is to begin August 13, 2020 and end September 30, 2020. I guess we would call that short term?
Well, my 2 years. And
right.
And so in order for them to
finalize that,
yeah. That's what Judge McCaig said we had to do. So
it is directed that this order shall be recorded by the Grimes County District Clerk in the appropriate minutes of these courts, certified by such clerk to the Grimes County Commissioners Court, recorded by such court in its minutes. This order is effective on August 13, 2020, signed on the 16th day of September 2020, Albert M. McCaig, Jr., Judge of the 506 Judicial District Local Administrative Judge. So it is said. Commissioners, any public comments?
I would like to say we do have COVID testing again this Saturday in the city of Navasota and in the city of Todd Mission from 8 to 4 o'clock. It is free. You don't need a doctor's appointment or prescription.
Symptoms?
Or you don't have to have symptoms. It is an oral swab. It only takes about 5 or 10 minutes, and you get your results in approximately 48 hours. So you're welcome to go out and get tested. Please tell others. Please share that information.
Please do.
Where's the testing going to be, in Navasota?
At the Navasota Center and at the city of Todd Mission.
What are the hours?
8 to 4.
Fortunately or unfortunately, there was not a crowd when they did the last testings, but it is available. It is available. I'm going to throw out one more reminder. If you're watching online, if you watch this later, because obviously you're not here this morning, but if you have not completed your census, please complete your census. If you have the opportunity to ask your neighbor, have they completed their census? You're not being nosy in their responses, but it's important that yes, they have responded, and if they haven't, encourage them to do so, because it does have financial bearing, it does have political bearing on how our counties and our states and our nation are set up. So it's so important everybody gets counted in this census process. If you don't get counted this year, you got to wait 10 more years to get counted next time. So, are there any other public comments? Final call? And hearing none, we'll go to consent agenda items number 3, number 4, and number 5. Number 3, consider and take action to approve the treasurer's list of claims and bills. Consent agenda item number 4, consider and take action to approve payroll. Consent agenda item number 5, consider and take action to approve budget amendments and/or line item transfers. And I will confess, Commissioners, there are a number of those line item transfers.
There's also a consent agenda item number 6.
Yeah.
Right behind all those.
Page 5.
I was so excited about the line item transfers. And also, the consideration and possible approval of a renewal of the special road use permit renewal for Ellie Myers on CR 304 and 344, which is our attachment number 6. Thank you, Commissioner Mallett.
Is that not separate?
Do what?
Is that not a separate item?
No, it's not. It was put on there as a,
Because it's a renewal, I believe.
yeah. It's an ongoing project that they have off of 304 and 344 there. It's been going on for several months.
If there are no other questions, is there a motion?
I make the motion that we approve consent agenda items 3, 4, 5, and 6.
There's a motion before the court on consent agenda items 3, 4, 5, and 6 by Commissioner Walker, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Is there further discussion? And hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. We now go to agenda item number 7, Texas A&M AgriLife County Extension Agent Kyla Gladson. Kyla Gladson, are you in the hallway? You are.
And approved.
We have 6 4-H'ers. Is that too many to come in here to do
If you
this?
kind of spread them
They all
out.
have masks too.
Yeah, come on in. We'd like to meet them.
Come on back.
These are hard-working people coming in
Absolutely.
here.
And then
I recognize some of them.
Yeah, that's why I said they're important. Come on around, Jim.
Watch the cord on the floor there. Okay, just gives a little distance between each, kind of arm's length there, all right? Tell us what's up, 4-H'ers.
All right, so we are here on behalf of the Grimes County 4-H program to proclaim October 4th through October 10th as National 4-H Week here in Grimes County. My name is James Lamont. My name is James Lamont. I'm the secretary for the Grimes County 4-H Council. I'm also the president of the Isle 4-H Club and the second vice president of the Shooting Sports Club. I've been 4-H for 7 years, and since 3rd grade, that was as soon as I could join. I didn't know at the time a lot of what 4-H was about. I just joined to do what most kids do. They joined to do the fair. And as I grew up, or as I got older and I expanded into more activities, I learned the heart of all 4-H activities, and that is to teach kids about community service and hard work. 4-H helps helps make the next generation to be productive, community-oriented, and civic-minded leaders. They do this through projects from beef to robotics to fashion and textiles, and everything in between. I obviously do not do fashion and textiles, but the last week was. So, we become responsible through our project, through record books. We are held accountable for our work and learn to set goals and accomplish them. 4-H is a great organization, and our program has been growing a lot over the past couple of years, and I think this is great for our county. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to, are each of you going to speak? Because I'd like to hear each of you if we can.
My name is Luke Lamont. I'm in 4-H. I don't have an officer position because I'm only in the 5th grade. However, I am involved in district 4-H, shooting sports, and Iola 4-H. Like he said, 4-H is a lot to me. It teaches me a whole bunch of things that I need to have when I grow up. I need public speaking skills. I need to be able to write a speech, present it in front of a whole bunch of people. Because you'll have job interviews, you're going to have to do speeches. I'm sure you've done a speech before.
I have.
He's already ready.
You've done a speech before.
Yes.
Right there. I don't know that I want you critiquing my speech, but
Basically, it teaches you a whole bunch of things
Right.
that you need.
very good. All right.
Good job.
Yes, sir.
I'm Ben Lamont, and I'm the reporter for the L4H Club and the council delegate for the Grimes County 4-H Shooting Sports Club. What 4-H is to me is a program that helps get kids out of their comfort zone. They get to learn new things and make new friends. And I'm thankful to be in 4-H, and I am also very thankful that we have such a wonderful Grimes County 4-H program.
Yes.
Good. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Tori, and I am the president of Charm and Son 4-H Club, and what 4-H means to me is about helping the community and make sure that it's a safe place for everybody.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I am Sincere Banner, and I am the vice president of Charm Son 4-H. And what 4-H has done for me is taught me how to speak up and help people.
Very good. Glad to have you here. Yes, sir.
My name is Nehemiah Banner, and I am in Charm and Sewing, and I'm the council delegate for Charm and Sewing. And what 4-H has done for me, it has taught me leadership, and it has taught me lots of things. Safety. That's all.
Nehemiah, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you know what the 4 H's stand for?
I've been with the guys.
You're going to work on that? Who can volunteer what the 4 H's are? All right?
Head, heart, hands, and health.
All right. And it kind of encompasses the whole body, does it not? Yeah. Well, excellent. How many 4-H chapters do we have in Grimes County? Do you know?
We have 8 individual clubs.
8 individual? The reason I asked, my grandson just joined the Plantersville Club, I think last week. And then I heard you mention Iola. So we have 8 within Grimes County, and then do we have a Grimes County 4-H that encompasses all of those?
Well, we don't have a 4-H club, but it's the council that leads
The council.
all of the clubs.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. And if somebody was interested in joining 4-H, how would they do that?
They would sign up on 4-H Connect, which is a website that we have for 4-H.
4-H Connect?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
actually 4-H Online. We just
Oh.
switched it this year to a
Oh.
brand new system, so it's called 4-H Online.
4-H Online, if any of the folks watching out there want to join 4-H. And what's the oldest you can be to be a 4-H'er?
It's the senior, well, the youngest you can be is 3rd grade, and then the oldest you can be is your senior year. Once you're in college, then you can't be in
Okay.
4-H anymore.
Okay. So if you've been in high school 8 or 10 years, you can still be 25 and be in 4-H?
I don't know.
18.
Oh, okay, 18's about, this, I didn't know if we had some slow learners that might want to get involved.
18.
Well, we really appreciate you folks being here, and all protected from the COVID. Thank you for participating with us in court this morning. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Kylie, do you have anything else that you'd like to share with the group?
No, we just appreciate that y'all let us come in and do the proclamation today. that Form 1 is for y'all to sign, all the commissioners and the judge, and then the other copy is for y'all to keep here. So the
Okay.
confirmation.
So we need to sign both of them, let you take one, and we'll
Correct.
keep one.
Yes,
All
and
right.
we'll frame it up in the office for this year.
Is there anything else anybody would like to share with us?
Thank you all for the opportunity to be here today.
You're most welcome. All right. Thank y'all. Good job.
Bye-bye, and thank you.
Do we need a motion for the proclamation?
Sir,
Do we need a motion for the policy?
we can do that. I was told once upon a time we didn't have to do it on proclamations,
We
but
don't have to do the proclamation? Okay, no, that's fine.
No, it's not close.
commissioners? While y'all finish that up, we're going to go to agenda item number 8. Grimes County Building Maintenance Manager, Mr. Al Peeler, update on the ongoing projects, Grimes County Courthouse, Grimes County Jail, and Grimes County Justice Center. Mr. Peeler?
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. Courthouse is, I really need to have Luke Lamont back here. He speaks better than I can, so.
He's more of a fashion dresser than you, too.
I know that's right.
Should we keep on, or do you want to go ahead and give your report?
No, I'd like to get Luke, really.
For real.
So, the courthouse is going good. It's being painted. We are way ahead of schedule. We are now painting the district court. We found that we didn't have court this week, so we stopped what we were doing in the hallway, bumped up to the district court.
Oh, so that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, any chance that we can get into a place that is occupied or being occupied, we're gonna stop where we can get in the common areas and go
Sure.
to that. Everything's looking well. We've finished the leaks, that we found. They were just little piddly stuff, like we missed a mortar joint on the outside of a window. The parge seal ran over and there was a crack. It was a drip, and then over time it filled up a window or something like that. But that's all taken care of. We haven't had any leaks during this rain, so
That's a good test.
I'm satisfied with that. Our doors need a little bit more work. They come out, our new hinges come in, and the new hinges threw the doors off, so we're still tweaking on that. With any luck, we should be done by the end of October, if not earlier. That would be fantastic. The jail is coming along not as fast as I would like. It seems like every time we get going at a speed, something throws us a monkey wrench. With Greg having his issues, our IT director, that's kind of set us behind on getting the controls up and running. We're having to do them manually, which I was there yesterday. We still got humidity problems, but we're working through that. We went from 98% humidity in the building, we're down to 71. Still not where I want to be, still not where it needs to be.
What is that, 55 or?
55 is where I want to be. So it's going to take us a while to figure this building out, but I'll get it. I don't have a problem. I just need a good run with everybody staying healthy, and everybody can come back as a team and get our systems up and running so I can see exactly what they're doing. We're still on holding patterns because of COVID on abatement for the mold in the jail. As soon as they let up a little bit, we'll be able to get back on that. Hopefully that will be hand in hand. Once we get the units up and running, the humidity control can take care and they can start cleaning again. Justice Center, we had a meeting. The mock wall is coming well. coming up pretty good. We had the masonry people out there. They made some adjustments on how they wanted to, the architect is trying to make it pretty, and he wants to see it pretty before they start on the wall. My mezzanines, where the air handlers are sitting, the air handlers are in, mezzanines are up. We've started studying the walls and putting insulation on the outside, tie back. It's not tie back, but we were going along pretty good until Mother Nature took a hold, and then now it's just too muddy to even get up to the building. So we're in rain days right now.
Is everything shut down over there?
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, it's raining, and we were having the roofers come in last part of last week and early part of this week, but then they shut down.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
With that, we will now move to agenda item number 9. Grimes County Assistant Auditor Mary Johnson, consider and take action to approve the FY21 interlocal agreement for auto theft task force grant between Grimes County and Montgomery County, and authorize the county judge and commissioners as signatories, attachment number 9. That was a 60-plus page document, Mary.
Sorry.
Could you in the future, could you send us cliff notes or something in the future?
Roughly it's the same. There was
Yeah.
some minor verbiage change, but Chief Green was fine with that. Our commitment is still the same, $10,000. He's very pleased with the program. He asked me to convey a few things. He said that he thinks they've been doing it over 15 years.
Right.
The program itself is 26 years or so. He says it's a great program for the citizens of Grimes County, and he's very happy with the arrangement.
Was there any of the language changed in the attachment that you want us to pay particular attention to?
No, he
or-
said it was just, they combined a couple of things.
Right.
So it's not word for word as the previous year, but the overall sentiment is the same. And he just wanted to make sure that there weren't any more restrictions placed on our employee, and that's fine.
Okay. And Mr. Foltz, as always, I know that you've spent many hours reading through the fine print.
I don't have any concerns. It is very similar to the previous agreement, a bunch of exhibits attached, and the amount is the same.
Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So
Thank
with
you.
that, is there a motion for agenda item number 9?
I make the motion to approve the FY21 interlocal agreement for auto theft task force grant between Grimes County and Montgomery County, and authorize the county judge and commissioners as signatories.
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 9 by Commissioner Walker, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Is there any further discussion? And hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 10. Emergency Management Services Coordinator David Lilly, consider and take action to approve the contract for county funding of Emergency Medical First Responders, Inc., and authorize the county judge as signatory. See our attachment number 10. Morning, Mr. Lilly.
Good morning, Judge. What you guys have before you is a copy of the contract that we have currently in effect with the Emergency Medical First Responders. It's actually a copy that I created with Word, because the only one I had a copy of was a PDF, so I just transcribed it verbatim. The only change I made from what I got on the PDF is on the last page. There was no space to put a date for the signature, so I just adjusted that date. I don't see Chief Wilkie here. He is the head of the first responders. He said he was going to try and make it today, but work may preclude that, so I assume that's probably what happened.
Mr. Lilly, do you know how many people they have on their first responders team at this time?
Last time I talked with him, he said that they had believe 5, but they had several that were being considered that
Okay.
we're looking at either renewing their certifications to be qualified to respond, but currently I believe the number is at 5.
Because the last time that I was with you and we were with him discussing it, I remember the number being 5.
Yes.
So I didn't know if they'd had an increase.
Well, again, he did say that there's several that are wanting to join, but, they're having to go through the review process.
Right.
And I don't know if that's been completed yet. I haven't talked to him in the last week or so, but a couple of weeks ago when I talked to him about the contract, he said, yeah, we've got several that are in the wings that are wanting to join our ranks.
And I would imagine the COVID interference has kind of
Probably.
slowed the process down a bit. So is it your recommendation we sign the contract as is?
With the, assuming John did send you a copy of it, was there anything you found that concerns you with this contract?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Is there a motion on agenda item number 10?
I move that we approve the contract for county funding for emergency medical first responders incorporated and authorize the county judge as signatory.
Second.
It also has commissioners on this.
Okay.
County judge
County
and
judge
commissioners?
and commissioners.
All right. Do you still second that, Commissioner Mel? There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 10 by Commissioner Dobianski, seconded by Commissioner Mallett. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Agenda item number 11, Grimes County District Clerk Diane LaFleur. Consider and take action to approve the district clerk's proposed annual written plan for the preservation and restoration of the district court records archived pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 51.305, our attachment number 11.
If you want to get rid of it.
Okay, thank you. Good morning again. Okay, I'm just going to brief this. You have in front of you the preservation and restoration record plan for 2020 and 2021. The judge has the original for all signatures. And the purpose of this document is to define the restoration and preservation, digital capture, storage, retention, and management of archived records belonging to the district clerk's office. It has been identified that we still have record archives that need to be reproduced for space availability purposes. It is the intent of the district clerk to follow guidelines set by the Texas State Library and Archives Commissioner. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the future plan. You have it in front of you, but I'll read it for the public. The $10 records archive fee under Local Government Code Section 51.305 for the filing of a court document for preservation and restoration services performed in connection with maintaining a district court record archive. The fee is to be paid at the time a person, excluding a state agency, presents a court document to the district clerk for filing. The county treasurer shall establish a district court records technology fund in the general fund of the county for the deposit of the fee. The money generated from the fee imposed may only be expended for the preservation and restoration of the district clerk records archive. Funds will be expended as provided by law and would include the following records from 1857 through current and future records. And then we'll do restoration and preservation of deteriorated books, permanent exhibits, and documents to prevent further deterioration. Purchase supplies needed for record preservation to include file folders or case binders, boxes, shelving, labels, archiving supplies. There's some other items that qualify. And provide for proper space and storage of books, files, documents, and boxes and such. And then it's ready for y'all's signature.
Could you repeat that?
I move to approve the district clerk's proposed annual written plan for the preservation and restoration of the district court records as presented.
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 11 by Commissioner Mallett, second by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Mallon, I'm going to pass the original if you'll endorse it and then pass it back this way. We will go to agenda item number 12, Grimes County Human Resources Director Talita Coleman. Consider and take action to amend the Grimes County salary structure grade definition pertaining to Department Head 2 and to reclassify Maintenance Community Service Coordinator from Department Head 1 to Department Head 2. See attachment number 12. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners. So, and it was brought to my attention during your budget hearings this past June that the Commissioners Court has opted out to do away with the stipend pay, which you guys implemented back in January because of the added duties that you gave Al with the building. Now, since you are doing away with the stipend, is my understanding, it's going to push him into a different grade level for his salary range. By taking him up, doing away with the stipend and moving his salary up to what you all decided, it pushes him out of the grade 1 level. Grade 2 does not apply to his job description. So I'm here to ask Commissioners Court to amend the grade 2, Department Head 2, to also state oversees and maintains multiple county facilities. By doing that, we can then move him from a Department Head 1 to a Department Head 2. Now, I know this isn't the right time to be moving employees. That's supposed to be done in February and March. However, this was a decision that the court did back in January. And it wasn't discovered until recently that he is not going to fall in that salary category. And that's why I'm here today to ask for you to amend Department Head 2 and move Al from a grade Department Head 1 to a Department Head 2.
I would like to make the motion that we add the verbiage, consider, I'm sorry, that scared me.
Drop the salary right now.
It did. Consider taking action to amend the Grimes County salary structure grade definition pertaining to Department Head 2 and to reclassify Maintenance Community Service Coordinator from Department Head 1 to Department Head 2, adding the verbiage oversees daily operations of multi-county facilities.
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 12 by Commissioner Walker, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Coleman, are you going to make the adjustment in that language and then redistribute that so that that's what's out there for the world to see?
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right. Then agenda item number 13, consider and take action to renew current retiree medical program for 2021, our attachment number 13.
So this is just like we do with our employee TAC medical health. Every year we have to bring it before court so that everyone know the plans for the county. We're going to stay with what we have for our retirees, which is the silver plan. There is a slight increase. It is going up from the current monthly plan is $265.61. Effective January 1, it'll go up to $275.83. The county's portion responsibility is still the 30%.
Could you state those numbers again one more time?
Current rate is $265.61. New effective rate January 1 will be $275.83.
So just a hair over $10.
Yes, sir.
And that's a monthly?
Yes, sir.
And the county only pays 30% of the medical.
Of the medical only, it doesn't cover any, if they add general or any other insurance, it's just the medical.
But it's still a very good plan.
Yes, sir, from my understanding. I haven't had any complaints from any of the retirees.
Well, and you're not retired either, so.
I'm not, no.
Approximately how many people are on the plan?
23.
23.
We have 23 on this plan, and then we have 2 that are on Blue Cross Blue Shield still. They have the option that they can stay. It used to be they had to, when they turned 65, they had to roll over to the United, but they've changed that since then. So we do have 2 employees who are still currently under the Blue Cross Blue Shield.
And 1 on Cobra, right?
1 on Cobra.
So it sounds like you're getting the hang of this HR position.
I'm trying.
Well, we appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments before we take action? Is there a motion on agenda item number 13?
Judge, I move that we renew the retiree medical program for 2021 at the rate specified.
Second.
There is a motion before the court on agenda item number 13 by Commissioner Cox, seconded by Commissioner Mallett. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Coleman.
Thank you.
We'll go to agenda item number 14, Grimes County Clerk Vanessa Brzezinski. Consider and take action to approve adding an additional 4,263 marriage licenses to the current contract previously approved that was underestimated, and to add 40 additional loose pages to the deed books at a cost of $16,885. This also includes a credit of $8,065.54 for the vital records that were overestimated. Proposal is dated June 25, 2020. See our attachment number 14.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have with me Mr. John Rickerby of Data Preservation Solutions. He's the vendor that we've been using to preserve our books, and they've been doing an excellent job, and I've been very, very pleased with their service. So before you is my first proposal, and it's really not a new project. It's kind of like an amended version of the first project that was approved later last year on the vital records and the marriage books. So when we get these proposals, it's an estimate, because, you know, once they get in there and actually see how many pages there are, how many documents there are, those numbers could fluctuate over or under. So in the vital records, it was overestimated, so we got the credit of $8,000. On the marriage records, however, it was underestimated, and there was more than they thought. So in order to finish the rest of the marriage licenses, it's going to cost an extra $4,000. No, that's the wrong one. It's going to cost another $24,810, and that's to preserve them and put them in new books. Then there was an additional loose pages that we have found in the process, and that comes to $140. So the total of this proposal is $24,950.66, and this would come out of Fund 54, my archive fund.
And is that amount available in that archive fund?
Yes, sir. I met with auditors yesterday, and we went over all of the numbers, and I looked at our revenues, and for fiscal year 2020, that fund has already collected over $70,000. So, yes.
Vanessa, just to be clear.
Yes, ma'am.
It says, at a cost of $16,000, is that after the credit?
That's with that $8,000 credit,
Okay.
yes. But actually, the auditor said that credit should be going off of the original amount that we had contracted for on the first project, which was $117,000. So they're just going to give us a credit off of that, which is from this fiscal year.
Okay.
So actually, the amount will be the full 24. Yes.
Okay, I got you.
I know it's a little confusing.
Since your vendor is here, when do we start enjoying volume discounts and good neighbor?
We always give you our best price. Right? And I think these bids we've worked with have been tested competitively, and you are getting a low price.
And when I first started this project.
And I'll
I did-
admit, the work that I've seen has been very high quality. And for these old historical records, I appreciate that.
Yes, I was gonna say, we did, compare prices to other vendors.
Right.
And they seem to have the best quality for the price.
And I believe that, but I've also learned in life, if you don't ask, you don't get, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, this is more of just a continuation of the first project, but with additional funding required, so this will be coming out of the fiscal year 21 budget. Yes.
Ms. Murphy, do you pretty much agree with what the county clerk has stated as far as available monies?
So we did sit down and discuss it yesterday. 54 we're fine with, and then the next one, I think it's about 20,000, is that correct?
It's about 25.
25,000. We are in agreement with that.
Okay.
However, we are gonna ask that, after this, if y'all do approve it with the records management, to kind of put a halt on the spending until we can finish our audit of her fees that are going into that fund. So we're okay with it, this portion being approved, but we would like to put a halt on any future projects until we can finish our audit of her fees.
And that's Fund 54, you
Fund
refer?
21.
21? So this amount is gonna come out of Fund 21.
So the first project she discussed will come out of 54, as she said previously. The second project will come out of Fund 21.
Okay, are we talking about this agenda item when you say 21? Or are you talking about 54 for this?
For
Because
this
she has
one, we're
another.
talking about 54.
Thank you, yeah.
I thought you went on to the agenda.
No, not yet. And I have no other projects other than these two.
Okay, so this, you'll be able to comply with the auditor's request on put things on
Absolutely.
stop once you get these initially finished?
Correct. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
I move to approve adding an additional 4,263 marriage licenses to the current contract at an additional cost of $24,950.66.
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 14 by Commissioner Mallett, seconded by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Agenda item number 15, consider and take action to approve scanning and preserving old original Commissioners Court minute books dating back to 1848 to 1907, 7 books total, and replace binders on 4 original marriage license books at the cost of $23,999.20. Proposal is dated August 18, 2020. See attachment number 15.
So Commissioners, I have in front of me some of our old Commissioners Court books dating back to 1848, and you can see they're in very, very fragile condition. This is the history of our county, and this has got a lot of data and information. It's all handwritten. So it's very imperative that these books be preserved and scanned, so we'll have digital images of the information as well as the books, because they're falling apart, as you can see. So, I asked Mr. Rickerby to come, and he did come, and he looked at all of my books, and we talked about, putting them in new binders, having them scanned, having the pages treated. You might want to explain how that process works, if you don't mind, how they'll do that. Okay.
I'm John Rickerby, and I'm with DPS, Data Preservation Solutions. And what we will be doing with these books is, a lot of the ink that used to be used in these old books, as time goes by, it embeds itself into the paper and actually starts destroying the paper, and the ink also starts to fade. So part of the process we go through here is neutralizing that in order to stop that erosion that's taking place. We also go through the pages that may be torn, and there are a number of those, and maybe have tape on them that are sometimes holding pages together, and we remove the tape, and we reinforce the paper in order to get it fully stable and usable. And once we get it all cleaned up and everything, then we put it inside plastic sleeves, so in order to reduce any further damage that might occur with it, and then put them in new binders as well. So basically what we're doing is we're taking these old books, preserving your history, and Vanessa's right, at the period of time that these books are taking place, it's a very historic period for the county, and we're preserving that for future generations. And then with digital images, then you also have the ability to look at those records online as needed.
Thank you, sir, appreciate it. So there are a total of 7 books that we've determined that are in great need of being repaired. We have many more books, but these are the ones that need the attention right now. I had Mary Johnson, my clerk, give me a count, and we have 60 Commissioners Court books that are in hard plastic binders. And we have 20 of these old books plus 2 index books. So we're just doing 7 for this go-round. The second part of this project is 4 marriage record books, which DPS already has in their possession. They've already scanned them, but we didn't have enough money in the budget to get them new binders last year. So while he still has the books, I want to go ahead and get them in new binders and get them so that they'll match the other new books that I just got done. So they're all look the same. And there's, that's $4,000, $4,097.50 total. So the whole project between the two is $23,999.20.
And where's that money at?
That's in Fund 21.
And is that money available?
Yes, sir.
Have y'all audited this?
This is the one, I apologize, I had thought we were already on this one. This is the one we're asking to give us more time to continue to audit her fees that are going into the records management. And so if this project is approved, we're asking to kind of put a halt on it, on any future projects until we can finish our audit.
And would you be agreeable to that, Vanessa?
Yes, once this is approved, like I said, I don't have any other projects.
Okay.
Do you know what that balance is in that fund?
I know our audited fund balance as of fiscal year 2019, it was 287. I believe this year she had 80,000 budgeted in Fund 21, if I'm not mistaken. So we're looking at about $200,000 right at the moment. And that's just an estimate.
Okay. Don't pay any attention to that, sir.
Okay.
Oh, yes, don't please.
I'm quite sure it's got multiple uses.
In my office, we've generated $69,000 in that fund balance just this year alone. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. What's the process time?
John, do you have
For
a
completing
question?
this?
Answer for that.
Probably by the time we have these done, it'll be, it's not that many, right around the end of the year. Call it December, January timeframe probably. January's probably a better call.
Okay.
And actually, as we speak, they're delivering all of my marriage books today. So I'm excited.
Very good. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the scanning and preserving old original Commissioners Court minute books dating back from 1848 to 1907, 7 books total, and replace binders on 4 original marriage license books at a cost of $23,999.20. Proposal date is dated August 18, 2020.
Second motion.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 15 by Commissioner Walker and seconded by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there any further discussion? In hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
And thank you, Mr.
Road and Bridge Engineer Harry Walker, agenda item number 16, consideration and possible award of annual contract for mowing. See attachment number 16. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, could we get you to remove your hat in the courtroom?
The contract for mowing was tabled last time. For refresh everyone's memory, we took bids on the 27th of August. Crosby Road Construction was the low bidder, followed by Wayne Pool, and then Triple B Ag. My recommendation was to award to the second low bidder, Wayne Pool, because of my reading of the county purchasing policy, that the Crosby Road Construction appears to have a conflict of interest per the definitions in our policy. That motion was tabled for further research, so we're here to pick it up again today. At this point in time, my motion has not changed. My recommendation is still to go with Wayne Pool.
My understanding, Mr. Foltz, that after you read, you did not really see a conflict. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, because on the flip side, the auditors say anything that looks kind of iffy, you ought to stay away from that. So I just want to make sure that when there's a motion made or we make a decision, that myself and the commissioners are comfortable.
No, what I was thinking is the answer is not a yes or no. There is the purchasing policy manual that was adopted in, I think, 2018. When we were here last, there was a question of what was the last version, and so I was scurrying around trying to get the one that was signed, but it contains the same provisions that we believed that it had when we were here. So regardless of whether there were X's beside it or whether it was dots or whatever it may be, or letters, I think is the final adoption. That page, whatever it is, I think it's 15 or 16, has an A, B, and a C, as I recall, and those things say specifically employee is not supposed to be engaged in the procurement process. Forget about the language that says don't do anything that has the appearance of impropriety. The provision that says specifically you can't be involved in the procurement process, that to me would kick him out in this particular circumstance. If you're asking me whether or not it has the appearance of impropriety, what I have offered is the analogous situation of the legislature has specifically authorized any one of you all from that side of the dais to have a business that engages in business with the county. The process that's required so that there's not a conflict, as it were, you would be voting on whether or not your business got the contract. You file an affidavit that discloses your ownership interest, and then you abstain from the vote. In my mind, if the legislature has provided that process, the legislature has said, we believe this is sometimes to the advantage of the county to have a contract with a low bidder in which a commissioner or judge may have some interest, some ownership interest. And of course, you would have better awareness of contracts that were coming before the county, such that if you had a business, you might want that business to, and all you have to own is 10% or more. And you're obligated to abstain from that circumstance. Well, I offered that as an analogous circumstance here. It seems to me that if, and I'll put it in other terms, if Foltz has a window washing business, Foltz is not on the other side of the dais, Foltz is not voting as to whether the window washing business gets the contract, and you all decide you need window washing, and Foltz's company has the lowest bid, I don't see the conflict. Unless I was coming behind the scenes and greasing the skids or greasing your palms or whatever, handing you guys money, I just don't see that as a conflict, as it were. Other folks may, and you may choose to believe that or not, but it seems, I go back to the specific provisions that say employees cannot be engaged in the procurement process, I think that kicks this contract out before you even get to the gray area of what is impropriety or what has the appearance of impropriety.
Okay.
And so you all having adopted that policy could choose to modify that policy if you wanted to. I'm assuming that there was good reasoning by the members of the court at the time that it was adopted, that these were added as provisions. My recollection is the entire policy came before you because there was desire to be sure that the CAFR recognized that we had a policy that was in place, and/or grants, when we were writing for grants, we needed to have this type of policy in place. I recall that being the reason that Talita and others, either treasurer or auditor's office or both, were asking the court to approve that. I don't recall an in-depth discussion about these specific provisions. So I say all of that to just give you the history of my recollection, but as the policy reads right now, I don't know how you get around the provisions that specifically say this shouldn't be done.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I've got a couple of comments on this. We can modify the policy if the court decided to do that. In this particular case, it was a sealed bid, so there wasn't really any advantage to knowing any of the particulars at the time of the bid. And the access to the policy in question probably didn't happen. I don't know that anybody that's bidding on anything, or they provided a copy of the policy when they bid on jobs? Okay.
It's online. They have access to it.
Okay.
Can I address that? When someone's employed, typically we have them sign the personnel policy. I don't know if that's ever been the case with the purchasing policy. So from the time that you gain employment, or if you were already employed and it was adopted, I don't know that the employees are specifically agreeing to that or approving that on the front end. That's just my understanding of it.
And so, I mean, in my mind, whether somebody's employed with the county or not, if everything is done above board, I mean, we're still in a situation where, in my mind, there would not be a conflict. That person could probably still have the contract and perform that contract separate of their employment. I understand we have a policy in place, and certainly we can modify that policy. I'm just questioning the idea that who knew about it, and if it was online, I appreciate that, but I don't know that they knew how to access that policy at the time that they were bidding, or anybody knows how to access that policy. And I'm fairly certain there was probably a bid bond that was put up that probably investigated the possibility of there being a conflict, and no bid bond. Okay. Anyway, that being said, I mean,
I'd like to add something to you, what you just said. First of all, I'd like to take the consideration of what the county attorney said, that we have a policy in place, that we put in place, and it was for a reason on the procurement process. And for us to go back and amend the policy because we received a bid that didn't line up with the policy, to me, may give that perception of a conflict of interest here, or unethical or compromising to make it fit. I would hope that we would move in the direction that the road engineer sees in the policy. For us to amend the policy after receiving a bid just doesn't line up for me. So, whether that person knew or not, we put the policy in place, and we put it in place for a reason. And I think that this particular instance, I'm conflicted as to whether or not we be amending it just for a particular company.
I agree with Commissioner Walker. I don't think it would be, in in the county's best interest to go and change a policy that we can state, even if we didn't necessarily intend for that policy
Right.
to be that way. But I think we do need to address the policy for the future and change it that. But I don't think it would be in the county's best interest to change the policy for a particular contract at this time.
Okay, so with that being said, Mr. Darby, ask anything? Okay. So with that being said, on agenda item number 16, the motion would be then to accept Mr. Walker's recommendation of the second low bidder for the mowing contract. Is there a motion in that respect?
Was that a motion from you, or was it just you reading?
No, I mean, I'm throwing it out to y'all.
Well,
If not,
I'll make the motion that we award the annual contract for mowing to, I did write it down, Wayne Pool, at the recommendation of our road and bridge engineer.
Second.
there's a motion before the court on agenda item number 16 to meet Mr. Walker's recommendation for the second bid by Commissioner Walker, seconded by Commissioner Mallett. Further discussion, I'm going to add into the discussion that we do need to address the policy, because with us going with this second low bid, there is a financial hit to the county of about $4,400. That's not a huge number, but the next time we have this discussion, it might be $44,000, and that would be something that we ought to consider. So I will make sure that we have some discussion on that policy and get it worded which is the best for the county, also in the view of the auditors, and so that we can do the business of spending the tax dollars in the most efficient way possible. So with that, is there any other discussions?
I just have one
Yes,
more
sir.
comment. Yes, I would
Yes.
agree with that. I mean, I think going forward, I understand the issue now. But I do think, I agree with you, Commissioner Mallett, we probably need to address this in the future.
Would you work with me on changing that language?
Absolutely.
All right.
Excuse me, would that be in a court session, an agenda item?
What we would do is we would work up the language and we'd bring it before the court for the court to approve it.
Okay, yeah, because I need to understand why we had that policy in place, and maybe all of our understanding why. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, if our attorney doesn't remember, I don't know that we'll remember. But we'll do the best we can.
Track down Ms. Coleman and ask.
Yes, she might remember.
I know we've got
okay?
minutes going back to 1848, so we can start there.
Yeah, we start somewhere, but I think we need to understand why we had it in place.
Okay. So with that, are there any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Number 17, consideration and possible approval of the Jace's Way plat J.F. Martin Survey A312 located in precinct number 1 or attachment number 17. Commissioner Mallett, that's your precinct.
Yes, sir.
This is a subdivision of 6 lots, about 1.5 acres each on County Road 175, close to the intersection of County Road 173. They have met our criteria for the subdivision rules, including giving us right-of-way to put in a proper radius curve at that. There's a curve in 175 there that was tighter than our standards require, and they have agreed to donate the additional right-of-way we need to widen that curve. We're recommending that the plat be approved and submitted.
The 175, isn't that the entry road, the county road that goes into King Oaks?
This is on the portion of 175 past King Oaks going north.
Okay.
244.
So where they make the curve in front of King Oaks, it's further on north?
On the rock section of 175, closer to 244.
Okay.
Step like this tomorrow.
Sure.
I move to approve Jace's Way plat as presented.
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 17 by Commissioner Mallett, seconded by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Let the record reflect Commissioner Walker stepped out for a minute. It's a 4-0 vote. Agenda item number 18, consideration of possible award of construction contract, County Road 323 Bridge Replacement. See attachment number 18.
Earlier this month, we opened bids on the replacement of the County Road 323. This is one of our EMP projects that we agreed to with TxDOT. We received 6 bids, ranging from $186,000 up to $635,000. A very healthy spread there. Nayland Bridge was the low bidder in the amount of $186,000 even. MBC, which is Paul Malek's company, was the second bidder at $227,954. Nayland Bridge currently has our bridge labor contract, and they have done quite a bit of bridge work for us. So we are recommending that the bid be awarded to Nayland Bridge in the amount of $186,000.
For those that might not be familiar, would you remind everybody what EMP stands for?
The equivalent match project, when TxDOT replaces a bridge on the county system, instead of having a monetary donation to TxDOT, there's a matching share that will require. Rather than writing them a check, they ask that we do other bridge repairs and replacements in lieu of a check.
Right.
So this is one of those projects that we committed to several years ago. Go ahead and replace this bridge. It's matched up. I forgot which of the bridges they're replacing, but this is matched up there. That is related to one of the projects.
And the reason I wanted you to share that, because we do have a commitment, we do fulfill those commitments when we work with TxDOT on these, so.
Yes, sir.
We still on item number 18?
We are on 18. 323, that bridge is, in whose precinct?
Mine.
Yours, okay. So did you want to make a motion on
Yes,
that?
I make the motion that we award the construction contract for County Road 323 to Nyland. What
Yes.
was it?
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 18 by Commissioner Walker, seconded by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there further discussion? And everyone's present. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Agenda item number 19, discussion and possible action to authorize Road and Bridge to sell all or part of the Stoneham barn property.
In previous budget workshops and various other times, in discussion of the new barn project on 2445, we have mentioned that we would like to sell the existing Stoneham barn property once we are ready to move into the new barn. At this point in time, I would like to get court's blessing to go ahead and begin that process. We're certainly not ready to sell today, but we need to take a number of steps. There's some legal issues we need to resolve. There's some planning that needs to be done. But I would like to get y'all's authorization to begin the process. Hopefully, with the idea that mid-year 2021, we'll be ready to sell.
Do we have clear title on that?
That's one of the legal issues we need to resolve. We are searching for the appropriate documents to verify all that, but at this point in time, I can't say with certainty that we will or not.
Okay.
Also, we need to take in consideration that we do have a part of the property, it's all part of the same property, right? Where we have the garbage and we also have the ambulance services there, and how we would cut those parts out.
That's part of the planning that needs to take place. Catherine Lee has advised me that she would like to keep the dump site there. It's a good location for them. And then my understanding is that St. Joseph's would like to keep the EMT EMC
EMF.
facility there. And there's some issues associated with that. They are tied into the water system, the septic system, maintenance barn. So there'll be some physical changes that will need to be made. But we need to spend some time working through that. We will probably end up doing a plat or replat of that property as part of the process. So there's quite a few steps that we need to go through, and I'd like to go ahead and formally recognize we're going to go down that road rather than start down that road and find out how long we're doing.
So at this point, it sounds like because of the wants of St. Joe's and the wants of the environmental group, we wouldn't want to sell all, we'd want to sell part.
That's correct.
Okay.
The entire property is 2.8 acres. Anywhere, the dump site occupies about a half an acre. To give ourselves maximum flexibility in the future, we would probably want to retain about an acre of the property, which at some point in the future could be sold, and is public water available, could be usable for something else. We wouldn't just be landlocked into the neighbors.
The property in front of the, where the dump site is, does that belong, is that part of that, where the old building is? Or?
No, sir. The community center, the own community center belongs to Navasota ISD. Mr. Fultz and I have spoken to the superintendent about that property and expressed an interest in acquiring it from them. They have not taken any formal action on that.
And then,
Ideally, if they were willing to donate that property to the county, make our situation much more flexible for what we can do there. What we've told them is at a minimum, we would need to have an access easement to the dump site. Currently, we're accessing across their property without any formal legal documents to allow that. So that's one of the issues that needs to be cleared up as well.
and that there may be another easement also that runs alongside of there, isn't it? We looked at before.
There are a number of things we need to look at.
Yes. But we need a way in and out of the dump site so that people wouldn't be backing out or the trucks, you know.
Ideally, there would be a configuration that would allow traffic to circulate through there without having to back out. There'd be an opportunity to improve the operations of the dump site. But again, it's going to take a little while to go through all that.
If there are no further questions, then I'd like to make a motion to authorize Road and Bridge to sell all or part of the Stoneham property, to start the process, to sell all or part of the Stoneham property.
Second motion.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 19 by Commissioner Walker, and it's seconded by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 20, consideration and possible action to award contract for gas and diesel for FY21. See attachment number 20.
This is the annual contract for fuel purchases. It includes fuel for Road and Bridge and for the Sheriff's Department. As what has happened typically in recent years, we only received one bid. Key Performance Petroleum is the low bidder. Key Performance formerly was Coleman that had our contract for a number of years. The good news is the prices are down noticeably from last year, which is not a surprise. We expected that, but we are recommending that the contract be awarded to Key Performance at this time.
I'll make a motion to award the gas and diesel for FY21 as recommended by Mr. Walker.
Second.
Was that?
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 20 by County Judge Joe Path and second by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there further discussion? Why do we only get one bid? When there's a lot of money involved.
The Minnesota Oil bid the contract in the past. I think there was some heartburn that came out of that contract one year, and they've chosen not to bid it since then.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. One more here. 21, consideration of possible approval of the change order number 3 for Champco on the FM 2445 maintenance barn project, attachment number 21.
This change order, we're wrapping up the barn project. There are a number of items that we're trying to get a handle on. We discussed in the past, the contract included 7 different cash allowances for various items where we didn't have a specific enough specification. We just told the contractor what we wanted, and set aside, for example, $50,000. You can spend up to this much on certain items. Now that we're at the end of the contract, we've gone through and worked through all that. We had credits on a number of those items that totaled $10,422.40 for savings to the county. However, we have additional items that we wanted to add to the contract, which totaled $11,889.77, which gives us a net amount of $1,467.37 to add to the contract. And then after we had worked that out, we went out and asked for security cameras to be included in the project, which totaled another $3,291.87. The net amount after the deductions and the additions for all the different items is $4,759.24. And just to further add to the confusion, part of the work that's included in this is being offset by a credit from Mid-South in the amount of $1,439.86. So we end up with about $3,200 net increase in the contract.
To your knowledge, would this be the last request?
I have spoken to the contractor. We're trying to get all that wrapped up. I'm not going to promise this is the last one. There might be a few more loose ends. There are just a lot of small items in a contract of this type. Either we think of something, something we should have included from the beginning and didn't, or something changes in the field. So we're trying to get a good handle on that this week. I've asked him to give me his best estimate for what the final total amount would be today. We're talking, sit down with the auditor's office and go through that, try to put a bow on it. But I'm not going to promise there won't be one more change order to close it out.
So when you said around 3,200, it's actually 3,291.87. If I look at your numbers on that page 3 of 3, that's what it.
Okay, I'm not following.
On mine, it had, 3291.87 when they added tax, and then we took the tax away, so it's 3291.
That
Is that different?
quote was just for the security lights.
Okay, okay. Sorry. So at the end of the day, it's still around 3,200 though, right?
The net increase, the net amount is $47.59.24.
4759.24. Okay.
The savings from Mid-South is that $1439.86 you see on the first page.
Right.
but that wasn't handled through this contract, so it doesn't show up in the change order.
Okay.
We're shuffling pieces. That's a simple piece. We paid bids out directly.
Auditor magic?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If there are no further questions or comments, I move that we approve the change order number 3 for Champco on the FM 2445 maintenance mooring project.
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 21 by Commissioner Dobianski, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Is there further discussion? And hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. When do you anticipate to start moving, Dave? And I know you've got materials there now already.
We've been working out of the site, out of the yard all year.
Have you?
We'll be moving in probably the middle of October. Time we get everything wrapped up, final inspection, punch list, all that.
Last item on the agenda for you, sir, is the road and bridge report. And that was submitted?
Should have received
We did.
before if there are questions, I'll be
And there was a question on what's right, what's wrong, but we understand that as long as we post that with the agenda, we're in good shape. And it's posted on the website, correct, Ms. Wagner? Okay. For those that couldn't hear, that was a yes? Thank you. All right. Anything else, Mr. Walker?
I think that's enough for today.
All right, and your crews survived the rains, or they're getting ready to go check the damage?
We did well, no damages, good soaking rain. I've been able to put out my truck this week.
Good. Okay. Put the roller out and crush down the ruts. Thank you, sir. We will go to County Judge Joe Fouth, agenda item number 22, discuss and review district judges compensation order for county auditor and assistants according to local government code 152.031B. See attachment number 22. Is there any discussion on the review? Is that just a so be it? We don't need to approve that?
Right, it just needs to be recorded in y'all's minutes.
If you don't agree with it, call them. Agenda item number 23, consider and take action to approve the 2021 tax assessment collection agreement and authorize the county judge as signatory. See attachment number 23. We've actually had this for some time. I thought this was already signed off.
I move to approve the 2021 tax assessment collection agreement with Grimes Central Appraisal District as presented.
Second motion.
Authorize county judge's signature.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 23 by Commissioner Mallett, seconded by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there further discussion? And hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 24, consider the proposed budget for FY 2020-21 and take action to adopt the budget with a record vote pursuant to Local Government Code 111.008. Note, budget must be adopted before tax rate pursuant to Local Government Code 111.010. So with that, in regards to the proposed budget, Commissioner Mallett, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dobianski, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Walker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Cox, how do you vote?
Aye.
And County Judge? Aye. That's a 5-0 vote. With that, we'll go to agenda item number 25. Consider and take action to adopt the tax rate with a record vote for Grimes County for tax year 2020 pursuant to Local Government Code 141.010 as follows. See attachment number 25. And then it says below, we the Commissioners Court of Grimes County do hereby adopt the tax rate per 100 taxable valuation for Grimes County for tax year 2020 as follows. The amount is .526933 for the purposes of maintenance and operation. The amount for debt services is 0.00, and the total tax rate would be 0.526933. Is there any discussion before we take our vote? Hearing none. Commissioner Mallett, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Dobianski, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Walker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Cox, how do you vote?
Aye.
And County Judge, how do you vote? Aye. It's a 5-0 vote. Again, Commissioners, I want to thank you for the work that you've done in getting us where we're at today. We won't make everybody happy, but that's not our intent. Our intent is to do the best we can with what we have. With that, we'll go to agenda item number 26, consider and take action regarding the burn ban and authorize the county judge as signatory. We are currently under no burn ban. I would recommend we leave it that way. Does that agree, Mr. Lilly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Agenda item number 27, receive any updates on the strategic plan. Are there any? Commissioners, just on the strategic plan, I think it would be appropriate for us to set a workshop in the not too distant future to review all the items that we've completed and all the items remaining on our strategic plan. Review the order, see if there's anything additionally that we need to, because it's been a while since this plan has been in there. So my request to you would be review it on your own between now and a couple of 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, and we'll set a workshop, have some discussion, and get ourselves back on track on that. Before we adjourn, for those that are, this should have been a public comment, so Mr. Foltz, if I'm out of order, I'm sorry. But the Commissioners Court has agreed that starting in our meetings, starting in October, we're going to be conducting our regular meetings on the first and the third Wednesdays, the first and the third Wednesdays. So we want to make sure that the citizens are aware of that. That's to better modify or to better work our schedules and reduce some conflicts. But starting in October, we'll be meeting on the first and the third Wednesdays at 9 a.m. for Commissioners Court. With that, we'll go to agenda item number 28, motion to adjourn. Is there one?
I make the motion, we adjourn.
Second.
There's a motion before the court on agenda item number 28 by Commissioner Walker, seconded by Commissioner Dobianski. Is there any further discussion? And hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.